David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So one of the dudes from the expats in Bangalore fucking community, which, by the way, is just Indians. Like, there's one Swedish guy, there's a Mexican chick, there's like an English dude, and everyone else is like an Indian coming back to India from overseas. That's the expats of fucking Bangalore community. So you become part of the community because you're like, I tell you what would be nice, seeing another type of head other than an Indian. And then you rock up and everyone's Indian. And you're like, oh, where are you from? And they're like, oh, I'm American. And you're like, oh, were you born there? Nah, I wasn't born there. I'm like, how long did you live there for? Like 3 years? I'm like, you're not American, you're fucking Indian. A dude messaged me a few weeks ago from the expats of Bangalore fucking community WhatsApp group. And he's like, hey, I saw your number and I noticed it was an Australian number. I'm an Australian too. Do you want to meet up sometime? I'm from Sydney. We got into this big conversation, whatever. Then he added me on fucking Facebook. And it's an Indian dude because I could only see the WhatsApp number. I couldn't see the name. And his name was like Namesh Guptal or some shit like that. And I'm like, how long have you been Australian for? He's like, I lived in Australia for 5 years. I'm like, you're Indian. Stop fucking fraudulently saying you're Australian or American or English. You're Indian. Stop trying to run away from it. You've come back home. This isn't an alien land for you. I'm sorry, but expat community groups are all about white people wanting to find other white people. Black people are included in that as well. You just want to see a different head than an Indian. It really doesn't matter as long as it's a foreign head and it's non-Indian. That's what the groups are about. It's like when Indians go to Australia and they move to a suburb that's 98% Indian and they're like, this is the Australian dream. And their next door neighbors are like fucking Rahul Singh and Shishant fucking Shwama. You know, it's just nice to get a little bit of an optical break for a while when you're in a foreign land surrounded by 1.3 billion fucking Indians. Anyway, one of the dudes from this expat community thing, he turned up to the fucking airport yesterday, flying to Sydney. He tested positive at the airport and now has to fucking isolate for 7 days. He missed his flight, isn't getting a refund, has to isolate and has to get a negative result. And then 3 days after his negative result, he can fly out. That's the fucking gauntlet I'm running at the moment. There is fucking chaos everywhere. I went to the gym today and the fatties at the gym were just coughing everywhere. It wasn't from overexertion either. It was just coughing, like scrolling on their phone, coughing, wiping down the bench. And I don't know how I'm going to keep dodging these bullets because I have to keep going to the gym as well. I am a fat fuck again. I let it get away from me, but I've got 2 weeks to get the rig in some sort of order because one of my mates is coming from England to Australia around about the same time I'm getting back. And I can't have a sloppy rig. I've been bragging about my rig for the last fucking year and a half. I can't rock up with fucking bitch hips. So I've got to pound away at the gym for the next 2 weeks non-stop. I've got to fucking matrix through this Omicron. There's so many things that can go wrong in the next 2 weeks that it's going to be a miracle to even get back to Australia. And also, I'm getting cold on the idea of going back to Australia anyway. I'm getting real cold. As long as my wife gets back, it's fine. I don't give a shit. I'll fucking stay here for another 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, a year. I don't give a fuck. Anyway, it's Monday again, and it feels like Mondays come around so fucking fast now. What's the date? It's the 17th of Jan, Muhammad Ali's birthday, my nana and my papa's wedding anniversary, probably some other shit as well. But it's already halfway through January. 2 more weeks. We're in February. February's a short month. Remember, I was fucking telling you, we're going to be in March in no fucking time. Anyway, it's Monday again, and you know what that means. It is Ask Boyle time. If you have a question you want answered, if you need some advice on something, if you want a quick psychological analysis of your state of mind. Or if you've got a hypothetical, just send them through and I will take care of it for you. If you want to send in an Ask Boyle or a hypothetical, just email me on boylecomedy@gmail.com or send it through to the Patreon. It's £1 a month. I'll get to your question quicker. You'll support the podcast. You'll keep ads off it. You'll keep me out of a crane. You'll keep me off the building sites. It's pretty much charity. So sign up for the Patreon. The links are in my social media bios, or just message me directly and I'll send you the fucking link myself. Anyway, this week's Ask Boyle was sent in through the Patreon by Tommy. Tommy fucking Kirk. So here's Tommy's question. Le Boyle, I'm after some advice and I figured you are the most qualified person I could ask. I sure am. My friend Charlie White, which is the best fucking cocaine name ever. Charlie White was born to rack up lines. So my friend Charlie White, who is also a member of the Patreon, he is too. Charlie White is a member of the Patreon, that fucking crackhead. So what's your excuse? My friend Charlie White is also a member of the Patreon, is having a stag weekend in March. His friend who lives in Australia has sent him over some LSD in the post and told him to enjoy it on the stag. Neither of us have done it before, even though we have both done coke, ketamine, pills, MDMA, mushrooms, and I've done DMT. Yeah, that pretty much covers it. You haven't got a lot of gaps in your resume. So we was wondering how much we should take, when we should take it, how long it will last, and can we mix it with anything else, i.e. coke or booze. We are going away from Friday to Monday to an adults Ibiza weekend at a holiday park here in the UK. We are looking to get pretty fucked up and are hoping to get a fucked up Friday story or two for you. Well, Tommy, you have come to the right place. This is the way I'd play it, Tommy. This is how I used to like doing acid. You party, you drink, you do drugs, do MDMA, do whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't fucking matter. Have a party. Then once the party is sort of like coming towards 3 or 4 a.m., that's when you want to do the acid. Go back to the hotel, pull out a little tab of acid. Just do one. I would generally do 2 and occasionally 4. Don't do 4. Don't do the double up on the double up. You don't need to. Just do 1 or 2. Have some drinks ready. Maybe just do 1 if it's your first time doing acid, although you're experienced on the other drugs. But maybe just keep it to 1. So take the fucking tab, put on some music in the hotel, get a couple of fresh packets of darts, do the acid, and then wait like 45 minutes to an hour. The acid overrides anything you've taken beforehand, even the booze. You'll go from like paralytic, bumping into walls, to like seeing everything in HD. The acid will be the main thing. So it will start kicking in around 4, 5 a.m. Get a little bit of fucking sunrise into you. Get some nice tunes happening. Enjoy yourself. Then around like the 8, 9, 10 a.m., that's when you got to seriously start drinking again, because the acid's going to wear off and you're going to crash because you can't avoid the damage you did the night before. The acid just postpones it for a little while. So you got to start drinking towards the back end of the fucking acid trip. You're always drinking the whole time, but because you're on the acid, you're not really focusing on the drinks. You're just taking sips here and there. You'll go to the fridge maybe like 4 or 5 times, open beers, forget where they are, open more beers. There'll be like fucking 12 fully open beers around the fucking hotel. Or if you drink whiskey or something like that, you'll just have glasses everywhere. So at the back end of the acid trip, you got to start drinking because it's uncomfortable the last like hour or so of the acid trip. So the drinking helps that. But then you're going to run into a little bit of a problem because once the acid is fully worn off, you're going to be fucking hammered. So you're going to have like a couple of bags of Coke handy. If you want to continue, if you're going to make it like a 2 or 3 day thing, you're going to have a couple of bags or something. If not, just drink until you pass out. That's fun too. That's mainly what I did because I wasn't paying $350 for a fucking bag of Coke in Australia. That's more like talcum powder. So yeah, that's basically all you need to know about that. You probably don't want to be going out into the crowd doing the acid. It's not even that much fun when you're on acid in big crowds. I've done it many times. It sort of sucks. It's better to be in a hotel room in like safe surroundings. Also, the last thing you need to know is if you think you're going to do acid like the next day as well, you're going to need like double or triple the amount of acid to get the same effect. Doing acid like 2 days in a row, it doesn't really work. The effects are much decreased the second day. Anyway, Tommy Kirk and Charlie White, good luck with that. I think that advice will hold you in good stead. Have fun with it. That'll do for tonight. If you're enjoying the podcast, give it a share around. And I'll see you the fuck later.